coaster has a loop in it, and that loop has a radius of 20 meters. The goal of the loop is so that the riders at the very top feel weightless for just an instant before coming back down. Now, what does weightless mean? A very common issue in some of these vertical loop problems or vertical circle problems is occasionally you'll see the term weightless. You'll hear the term weightless. That means for just an instant, you in your seat, you've lost contact with your seat. It's like you're flying in midair, which means there is no normal force. So the only force acting on you, the person, is the force of gravity. So now we look at that and say, okay, what force points towards the center of the circle? And that's pretty obvious. There's only one force to choose from, and that's force of gravity. So force of gravity equals the centripetal force. Now, what equation do we want to use for centripetal force when we're trying to find velocity? Well, we're going to use the one with velocity in it. So that's going to be mv squared over r. Now, m is in this problem, but we weren't given a mass, so we can't just make one up. Actually, we could, but we're not going to, because when we have a mass in the equation, but we weren't given a number for mass, usually what that means is it's going to cancel out. And here's how that works. Force of gravity is mg. The right side remains unchanged at mv squared over r. And my m's divide out. And that makes sense. There aren't scales right before you get onto a roller coaster to make sure that you're not too heavy or too thin to ride the ride. Now I rearrange that equation for v, and I get the square root of g times r is my velocity. So that's the square root of 9.8 meters per second squared times 20 meters, giving me the velocity, and that will be 14 meters per second for speed.